Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a grocery haul for you as well as some homeschool supplies I've purchased for our first year homeschooling our kindergartner. And we'll also be doing a little bit of cooking together because I have a lunch recipe that I have been super hyper fixated on and I don't have anyone else to share with. So earlier you saw me writing down my grocery list. I typically go grocery shopping once a week on Mondays or Tuesdays. We are a family of 4 and we live in a somewhat expensive area in Florida. I try to budget around $400 to $500 for the month, or between $100 to $150 a week. And then, if I have a week that's a little closer to $150, then the following week I try to keep it below $100 to balance it out. That works pretty well for us. Some months are a little more, some are less. Like July, for instance, was a month that had an extra week because my grocery shopping day started on like the first of the month. So I had an extra week of groceries in there, and we had a couple of events that we had to bring food to. So I had some unplanned food expenses. But then in June, I spent $390. So kind of balances itself out. Today's haul was $130. And you saw everything I got. Those are our groceries for the week. And I'll throw in a picture of our meal plan as well. So this is the lunch I was telling you I have been hyper fixated on for 2 weeks now. Something about me that I have been learning about myself and trying to accommodate a little more. I am really bad about feeding myself. I am the queen of skipping meals, and I've been trying to just allow myself to have some easy options available that I will actually eat. I decided it's worth maybe spending a little bit more money to get myself a few freezer meals if I know that I will actually make myself lunch and eat it, because there are plenty of days where I will go the whole day and realize it's dinner time and I haven't had any food today. I'm surviving on coffee. So I do try to have a few more quick options on hand. And one of those options I tried recently was a frozen spinach and goat cheese pizza from Target. And I love that thing so much. I was like, I could totally make this. One of my go-to lunch meals is a tortilla pizza. Usually I would just do, basic pizza sauce, cheese, pepperoni, but this frozen pizza inspired me to do a veggie pizza with goat cheese. So I'll eat it every day probably for another week or two, and then I'll be sick of it and I won't touch it again for a few months or years. But right now we're loving it, and you should totally try it. So I am unexpectedly going to be homeschooling our 5-year-old this year for kindergarten. She was going to be going to school somewhere and it ended up falling through, and I was super anxious about homeschooling her, did not want to do it, but here we are, and I have a lot of peace about it now, and we'll learn from it and we can switch it up next year if we want to, or we can continue. But I thought it would be cool to show you guys kind of my homeschool haul, what I bought for her. Figured I'd show kind of what I have from a more minimal perspective. And granted, we are doing kindergarten, so it's not very extreme. You don't have to do that many things. We are in Florida, and in Florida there is the Step Up Scholarship. Anyone can apply. It's not limited to your income. I think they give priority first to lower income households that are wanting to homeschool, but you can apply for this grant and we got approved for it. So we have a really good chunk of money now that starting in August we can use to buy anything school related. School supplies, we use it to pay for like tutoring. We can use it to pay for extracurriculars. So like if I wanted her to do gymnastics, or if I wanted her to do dance, like that would count as her like PE. And so we would get to do stuff like that. It's really great. It's such an incredible resource. I'm so grateful for it. But I did have to buy a few things in advance, and then I will just submit the receipts and apply to have those items reimbursed. I tried to keep it minimal because we don't have a lot of like money laying around to spend on things. I will say there are a few things I'm planning to buy once the funds hit, and they actually have like a marketplace where you can more easily just purchase things straight from your account online, and you don't have to do the whole receipt, wait for reimbursement thing. So I will mention the things specifically that I think I'm going to buy at that time, but first I'll show you what I got so far. So starting with the main curriculum, starting with, I bought a whole thing of construction paper. We did not have any construction paper, but now we do. So this is our school bin. This sits in our little closet next to our dining room table. I'll show you the main curriculum. We did a lot of research, and we decided for our first year that we were going to go with The Good and the Beautiful. It's really pretty. I like the way that it's laid out. I hear pros and cons about it, but pretty much all the cons that I hear are for older grades, and I know we can always switch it up if things are not working. To simplify things for myself, I decided to stick with language arts and math this year, and that is it. As we get through the first semester, I'll see if I want to start adding in a few other things, like I could order KiwiCo like science crates, and we could do experiments that way, or even just curriculum if I wanted to add curriculum. But I figured I don't want to bite off more than I can chew from the start, so we just did math and language arts for right now. I have her language arts and literature course book, and I'll show you probably some close-ups of it, but the language arts curriculum also came with reading booster, cards, books. I said cards. It's like a whole little set of little books, and it goes along with the curriculum so they can start learning how to read short sentences, and they progress throughout the year. And then it also came with Reading Booster A cards. I don't even know what these are. I haven't looked at these yet. Okay, another reason why I went with this one was it was actually very affordable, and they even offer free PDFs of their language arts and their math curriculum, I believe for all ages, for all grades, which is incredible for parents who are really financially strapped. You do have to have access to a printer, and you have to have, ink, paper, stuff like that. But I decided to go with the book, and even still, I think the language arts was maybe like 70 and the math was 40. I think our total came out to around, it was below 150, I believe, for the two curriculums, which was not bad. And again, I just am applying to be reimbursed for this. So then moving on to math, this is the math course book. Showing you a little snippet of it. Oh my gosh, it's so big. I'm back. My battery died. With the math course book, it also comes with the Math K box, which has, I guess, the manipulatives that you will need for this coursework. I did like how simple it was. Other math curriculums had, they required a lot of extra stuff. But this is everything you need for the most part, other than maybe some things laying around your house for the actual curriculum and the assignments they want you to do. The other thing I got with my order was a handwriting book, just so we can keep practicing. It's mostly tracing. There are some spots where they can, write themselves without tracing. So that is our main curriculum for the year, or however long we use it. The other stuff that I bought, I think this was it. So I bought a few like school supplies. I bought a large pencil box to hold all of it. And then I bought, you know, things like glue sticks. I didn't buy those. I didn't buy these either, but I'll show you these in a minute. I bought a set of markers, you know, glue, erasers, glue sticks, crayons, colored pencils. And then these are some things that are not like necessary, I don't think, but I either had them on hand already or I purchased them because I wanted to add a little bit of extra things. So we had a pack of these pencils already. I did buy a pencil sharpener as well, and it's somewhere else, but I bought a nicer pencil sharpener. Nothing crazy, it's just like the little ones, but these are dry erase markers that we had, and those go with a little dry erase board. Someone gave this to us last year, and it also has the like lines on the other side to help them when they're writing. So I've held on to this. We have a couple of them, but I think one is sufficient just so that we can work on certain things and I can easily do it with her or whatever. Then this is something I grabbed at Target like months ago. It's like one side is fractions, one side is a clock, and it's one of those little like sleeves. So this is nice because I can even, if I want to print out pages for her to do, I can put something in here and use that. I also had a pair of scissors. I don't know where to put things. We also already had a little set of watercolor paints, so we'll use that as well for some things, I'm sure. And then I did also have a set of flashcards. These were also from Target. This is shapes and colors, letters and numbers, and then it goes up to sight words. So this year I'm sure we'll start using sight words more, and I can start doing like shapes and colors and the other ones with my 2-year-old if I feel like it. I'm not very ambitious when it comes to teaching my children. This is something else that Shiloh got for Christmas like 2 or 3 years ago, and they're just wooden reading blocks. You pick the card and then you like twist the things to get the words. I'm gonna see if this is worth keeping, if she enjoys using it more in like a school capacity, then we will. Currently she doesn't use it that often, but mostly just because I forget about it. Okay, the other thing that I bought like months ago was this set of Bob's books that I found at Goodwill. And it's kind of like the reading booster books that I got from the curriculum, but these I find are a little more advanced and the stories are a little more interesting, I think, and kind of funny. So I got these, and I'm hoping that maybe towards the end of the year when she's reading a little bit more, we can switch to something like this. The other thing that I bought was this set of, I already forget what these are called. What are these? Pattern blocks, yes. Pattern blocks and boards. They made this without a lid, which is super annoying, but whatever. Just as a little, another like manipulative activity kind of thing to do. Both kids actually really enjoy them, so I'm happy with this. Another thing that I am either gonna buy with the funds down the road, or I might just put it on her Christmas list this year, is a geo board, the ones where you like have the rubber bands and you match the rubber bands to the card and make like a picture. I'm excited for that, but I decided, you know, I don't need both. We can do these for a while, and then we can switch and do the geo board in a few months, and I don't need to spend more money than is necessary. The last thing I think I have to show you is her like Bible stuff, so we're gonna try to be doing it more regularly. I have these ABCs of God's attributes. I got these from Tiny Theologians, and we actually also, it's in their room right now so I can't show you, but I got a Bible study with them. It's like a devotional, but for the whole family. It's just something easy, and I thought these were fun to do a little bit extra. So these are ABCs of God's attributes, and the cards just have like a letter of the alphabet, and then they correlate it to an attribute of God, and they talk about it and give you like a scripture for it. And they actually also have a podcast that goes along with it, and so it tells a whole story for each letter talking about that attribute. And they really enjoy that. So we'll continue that, and we'll also probably do the Bible study with them at some point. But that is it. I feel like that's not a ton, and it definitely was not a ton for me to buy in advance. Yeah, I mentioned that there are a few things I'm thinking about getting once the funding comes in. I think we'll probably mostly use it for some extracurriculars and maybe some like movement equipment for our home to help them get some energy out, or maybe even some sensory items. Like, I'm gonna observe how she does, but I know they have the little wobble seat things and trampoline for the house, stuff like that. So we'll see with that, but I am gonna purchase a clear tablecloth so that I don't have to worry about my table getting messed up when they're painting, drawing, coloring, doing anything like that. So I definitely will be buying that. And honestly, that might have been the only thing that I knew for sure I was gonna buy once the funding came in. I will also say that she is going to an enrichment program 1 day a week. So she'll go there as a drop-off program, and they will handle some of the things like art, STEAM. Those are the only two I can ever remember, but they do all kinds of those extracurricular things there. So, yeah, I just hope that's helpful. I hope that is maybe less overwhelming to some of you. I guess that's it. Psych, that's not it. I forgot. I also purchased this folding desk so we can do school in different places around the home to change things up, as well as a visual timer to help with scheduling. Okay, now it is dinner time, and I truly love to cook, but not for children. They're just picky, and it's just a little bit difficult. So I definitely have been focusing more on super easy dinners, and that has made a world of difference. Like, I laugh at how long I was trying to follow recipes and make these really intricate, like, gourmet dishes. But yeah, I typically cook about 3 to 4 nights a week, and more often than not, it's something simple like this. So I did buy groceries this day, but I was trying to use up some things we already had on hand, so I decided to make a quiche so that I could just throw it together really quickly. I didn't even have all the ingredients that I needed for the recipe I used, so I just substituted some things. But typically it's eggs, flour, milk, and mayonnaise. I didn't have enough mayonnaise, so I subbed more half and half instead. I've made it before with too much mayonnaise, but this time definitely I think could have used a little more. It helps with the flavor and the texture. I add spinach, I add a protein of choice. Today I had sausage and bacon bits, and then cheese. And then I add seasonings. Usually I do garlic and onion powder, salt and pepper. I bake at 350 until it's golden brown, and then you'll see it's gonna deflate a lot, and it does not look nearly as good. But this is a crustless quiche, so I don't have to have a crust in order to make it. That was dinner, and now we're gonna clean up. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope that you have a lovely rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.